Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Geek First podcast, the Geek First podcast. I am the god of mischief, Trash Snail.
I am the Punisher, Dylan Musk.
Boom. So this is going to be a quick newscast. We're breaking down kind of day one, some Comic-Con news. Mostly, we're going to be talking about Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. And this is releasing Thursday night. So there's a good chance you'll be listening this Friday. What are you doing? Listen to this and come watch. Because right now, stream will be happening.
We might be live by the time you're listening to this.
There's a good chance, yeah. So if you're listening to this on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, we're going to have all links. That's why just follow us on Facebook and Twitter because we'll tweet out when we're live. We're going to be playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance all day, all night. We're doing 24 hours. It's our 4-year celebration. Yep. We are hyped. We're going to talk about the game. But, so if you're listening to this, jump over and do them both. Yeah,
that's starting July 19th at 9 or 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
That's why you follow the social, because we'll give you the exact... when we're live, you'll get that. The Geeks are live. And we're going to have... It's going to be a fun time.
You have a 24-hour window.
Yeah.
If you are a night person, we'll be there. If you're a morning person... We'll be there twice.
And join the chat. Like, we have these team combinations, but we've said if people are in the chat, we're going to take recommendations. Like, what team do you want us to throw together?
Any character you want to see, we'll do it.
Yeah,
as long as we have them unlocked.
We're going to be there for 24 hours, so we have time to talk, and someone has a time to pause and talk. So it's going to be tons of fun. It's going to be bonkers. So that's why I'm excited. Let's talk about Marvel Ultimate Alliance right now. I didn't say, but we're talking about Ultimate Alliance 3, the Marvel Avengers game. We're breaking down that games panel, and then just a few. We're going to talk about it, and then Jane Silent Bob, and that's going to kind of be it. And the other thing I'll plug is... the superhero draft dropped as well today, so check that out. The Disney Infinity Ranking, MCU Infinity Saga Definitive Ranking is going to be dropping this weekend.
That's a banger. That's like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that's worth a lot. And then
so maybe listen to it in parts, but it is really really fun.
Yeah, and then Saturday Marvel panel Comic-Con. We're going to be tired,
phase 4. Yeah,
we're going to be tired, but I think there's going to be some hype announcements that's going to make us.
We're going to be woken up. I think.
Yeah.
Feige knows how to power us up.
We got a loaded
drink.
We got a Feige Fun Bucks. We got a loaded weekend. You know what's loaded is this Marvel Ultimate Alliance roster.
Oh my god, it never ends.
Let's talk about this. So let's save the other characters. Let's just talk about Loki, because a few weeks ago we talked about, is Loki being playable? Thank you for everyone that watched that video. Big video on YouTube. Lots of talking. And our boy, like I said, God of Mischief.
Yeah. Go check out, if you haven't seen it yet, the launch trailer for the game. It's only a minute long. And it reveals that Loki is officially playable, who's a character that we've known for a couple days now. I mean, I've been big in the Ultimate Alliance Discord, and there's been like evidence and all this stuff. And then some guy got a game a couple days early. He just discovered him like yesterday.
If you stand at the stars and look at the rock this certain way, and you winch your eyes, you might see Pluto. That was Loki for a few days.
You know, it's funny. It's like there was this theory that this guy in the Discord server, his name's Mr. Rarch. He came up with this theory like a week or two after E3, where he was looking at the numbers of like the team bonuses, and he's like putting it all together. He's like, hey, I think these are like, I think this means this.
Yeah.
And Loki was like possibly one of these characters, and it ended up being the case. And it's just super fucking hype, because we saw his boss fight a little bit in the Japanese videos like a week or two ago, and we just loved his look. We talked about it on the cast.
So good. Yeah.
And then in the launch trailer, you see a little bit of his gameplay. He has clones. He has some ice attacks. He looks so much fun.
There's one where he jumps in the air and he slams. There's just a huge ice thing. Do you think that's an extreme? That has to be. It was so massive.
Maybe. I would have to watch the trailer again.
Yeah.
I only watched it on my phone. I've been a very busy day.
July. It's July. We're going to do that every July. Hashtag it's July.
We're taking off a day of work, so we have to pick up for today. But I am just super excited for this character. When we did our... we've done a couple like predictions casts on roster stuff, and I think in both of ours, like we've always wanted Loki. Well, that's like high up in our request.
That's what I was going to refer to. When we started the podcast, the very first year, we've talked about this many times, but we've been wanting, and that's why I always say you got to pick up the stream. There's other people covering this game, but I don't think anyone has the passion that the Geek First does, because we've been talking about this game since the podcast started.
Yeah, we did a cast just like predicting, like this was like a year before the game got announced, the new one. So we've been around the block.
Yeah, and I think we did one even earlier. That was like 2016 when we did that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was a long time ago.
And in that one we didn't do a predictions one, so we can't do a told you so or pat ourselves on the back.
We just did like a dream roster.
But we did a dream roster, and Loki was on that because we thought like the Avengers, he's big, and if you looked at the previous games, Doom and Nano Knight, Nick Fury,
even
the
in the first game, Loki is really.
He's huge.
He's in it quite a bit, and we were actually playing. Me and Travis were playing the game the other night.
Getting destroyed by
Loki.
Getting
hyped. We were in the Loki boss fight. He was fucking destroying us. Like my character in that game is Doctor Strange, my supportive guy. but he just like has this electric attack, and he would just kill me instantly. So the only character that could stay alive was fucking Deadpool because
this healing regen. Yeah. And we had, and this was before you call us scrubs. We had on the very hardest difficulty, everything like that.
Yeah.
And we had a dream roster, but he was just demolishing us. But
strong.
yeah, he's always been a big character, and it's always been something I've wanted. So I'm super excited. I cannot wait to play with him. He's a character that he needs to be
and
good.
And it sounds like you need to earn it. It sounds like he's pretty difficult to unlock from what I've heard. So I'm down for that.
Oh, we're unlocking.
I like to earn my stuff,
But yeah, we did that, the preview one. I've been talking about this is a character. There's other characters that are rumored and one we're going to talk about in the DLC. But if I had a gun in my head, can you only pick one? It's always been Loki, just because he just could have such a cool moveset, and like the look, they doubled down, look great. But just already what we've seen the gameplay, I cannot wait. I'm so excited to do this stream. I'm so excited to play with him. So that was really hype.
It's insane.
And we talked about that too, that we thought they were going to announce something at Comic-Con. My hard prediction was Thanos. That was wrong, but Loki is another, because that got a lot of hype in the
I was
Twitter
honestly
world.
I wasn't bummed or anything, but I was just looking at like the way they've been advertising this game, and Nintendo of America has literally not announced or talked about this game really at all since E3, which is like crazy. It's like the month up to release. You really that's when you gotta build the hype, like drop like a daily like character, not like a reveal, but like a daily character, just like hype reel where you show like 30 seconds of Hawkeye popping off, next day show the next character. You just gotta do something. They just were posting like concept art on their Twitter page, and that was it. So I was like, what are they doing with the marketing? Like I don't want to say I'm worried about this game. Like I wonder how it's going to sell, because they weren't really advertising it a lot. But this was like a nice push of hype. Yes, it's like the game comes out in a few hours, so I don't know, maybe I don't want to say it's too late or anything, but
I don't think so. It would be in Comic-Con weekend though, because nerds are talking all this stuff every time you even the Marvel panel later on Saturday, you'll see hashtags this and that. If you get hyped, I want to play as Loki. And I also think with the hands-on review, they've all been pretty like mixed to good, but I think they know their window of who they're going for. Like I think the people that are buying this game are an audience that either loves Marvel or wants to beat 'em up or stuff like that, or wants a co-op game. So and I think it's not too broad. Maybe that's why they're not spending too much marketing money. But
the thing with such a big roster is you're gonna please everyone who's a Marvel fan of some capacity. Like there's gonna be at least a few characters that everyone's gonna latch onto here. I would think.
And like we're gonna review the game, and so far there's like, because there's some stuff and like minor spoilers, we don't hear anything. There's some stuff so far I've been hearing about the costumes that I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah.
But so far they've hit everything
I'll
really
take
want
characters over costumes any day.
100%. So it's like I have minor things where like, do I really want just like recolors of costumes? No, that to me is a little lazy and disappointing. But at the end of the day, same thing like you said. Would you rather take a bunch of costumes, or would you rather take Loki? Would you rather take who we're going to talk about on DLC?
Every time, already like by far the biggest base roster for Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, because
pretty exciting.
Other than I think we've talked about, other than Gamora, and I'd have to take a look at a few others. Most of their looks look really well done.
Oh,
you know, they're
Hawkeye. I don't like.
True,
I don't like Hawkeye's look.
Yeah.
Like a and shield agent.
And I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, but just even stuff like it's just Wolverine's combo costume, but he's never had that true one in the comic this game. So I'm very excited. So let's talk about the next two free people coming August 30th. A free update. Cyclops and Colossus jumping in hot.
Two characters who are in the base game as NPCs. They're in the X-Mansion level. They kind of help you fight some different enemies and stuff
Sentinels,
like that. Yeah, exactly.
Juggernaut.
And people have been talking about are they playable, are they not? Like they're already kind of in the game. And then people were thinking like, okay, well they have an X-Men DLC announced. Like if those two characters are part of the DLC, it kind of feels like maybe we're getting ripped off a bit. Like these characters are already in the game. They have animations. They already have like there's already like Cyclops can already shoot lasers out of his eyes. Like it's already in the game.
I would never say ripped off though, because in other games we have had NPCs like a Black Widow, Nick Fury that weren't playable, right? So it has happened before.
Yeah, I just mean like let's say your X-Men DLC literally has those two and like Beast. Like what if that's all the X-Men DLC
I wouldn't have been salty. You would have been salty, but I was honestly, I think this is just such a great move. I was not expecting them to be free. I was 100% expecting those two to be part of the two, because we talked about this when the X-Men got originally revealed, that people are going off that portrait, right?
Yeah.
Now, so if they're revealed, the only person in that portrait so far that hasn't been revealed is Professor X, which we'll talk about the DLC later. But
and Beast, kind of, he's in the
picture.
Yeah,
true. We'll talk about him. But yeah, as far as them being in it, I'm excited. He sucked a lot because I don't have him upgraded, but we played Ultimate Alliance the other night, and he had this great well, I can't remember what it was, but
Optic Blast,
and then had something else. So it
he
was
also
like
has a roundhouse kick for something.
Yeah, so I think Cyclops, if done right, could be a really fun character.
Yeah, I think he'll be more interesting in this game because, one thing that Ultimate Alliance 1 did a lot right, but it also did some things that weren't so great. Like every character having basic attacks of punches is really weird. Like why is Storm punching these guys?
Yeah.
Why is like I guess Colossus probably does that sometimes, but I think he'll be like a fully ranged character, right? Like his basic attack will probably just be like different.
He'll have the
blasts.
roundhouse kick.
Maybe he'll have the roundhouse kick, but he might be fully projectile character. There's a few of those in the game, so I think this game will fit him a whole lot better. I think one problem I have with Colossus in the first game is that he's just really clunky looking. He's really awkward. He looks like an animatronic or something. But I'm super stoked because I love the look they have for both those characters. They look so
They're going
good.
with like the kind of like
the OG,
the 90s sort of theme.
Fits the Wolverine look and everything. So how can I complain? Like you're adding 2 more free characters like for a total of. I mean, who knows how big the base roster is? There's some rumors and leaks and stuff. I don't really want to share those.
Even then, though, this is the biggest roster.
By far, it's the biggest roster.
So it's kind of like when
if you include the DLC of the other games.
It's like when we talk about Smash Ultimate, when it's like, oh, we want more and more, but it's like you never needed more, really, right?
I'm fully satisfied. I just wanted like Loki, and I'm happy. I do think, I don't know. I think it's really good that they're throwing Colossus and Cyclops in there. It makes me wonder who else they're going to add as like free characters.
Well, one thing. Well, so
a couple characters we don't know. Vision, Ant-Man.
I was going to ask you. So because last time you were 100% right on Ghost Rider. Are you retracting your promise on Ant-Man and Vision?
Oh yeah.
I was wrong on Ghost Rider, but those two I just had a feeling. Vision, I think you're still right, but because you're going to make a point about Ant-Man, why we not see him?
Yeah. So I don't know if we look at this like. As I said, there's already animations. They already have a costume. They have a look in this game already. It makes sense why Colossus and Cyclops are a little bit easier to put that full character in the game. But I think Vision is probably in that. I don't know if he has like full NPC status or if he's just in cutscenes, because so far I've only seen him in cutscenes. I'm not sure if he's like an NPC that walks around.
Wasn't there that thing though when it was like the 4 of them they were standing together?
That's a cutscene though.
Was it a cutscene? Okay,
yeah,
I didn't know.
So
I've never seen it.
I don't think I've seen gameplay of like. I don't think I've seen actual gameplay footage where he's like flying around and stuff. So maybe he'll be added at some point. Maybe he won't. And then Ant-Man, we've really only seen him in a quick shot on Hawkeye's arrow, which is a cutscene, obviously, leading up into him turning into Giant Man, I'm guessing, as he fights Ultimo. So I haven't seen him as like a regular-sized character walking around. And I don't know. Will they add him? It seems like that would be more work than like a Colossus or a Cyclops. But I could see it from the perspective that I think Vision and Ant-Man are 2 massive characters, like both in the MCU. Like Ant-Man has 2 movies based on him. Yeah, and they're both important characters, but 2 things with them as well is, one, they're definitely not Marvel Knights, they're definitely not X-Men, they're definitely not Fantastic Four, so they're not going to show up in the DLC packs. So maybe this is something they do where they just like trickle 1 or 2 characters out for free every once in a while, have the DLC packs, like one's coming out in September, we know, next one's coming out sometime in 2017, wow.
Whoa.
One time in 2019,
Endgame
and then one in next year. So
yeah,
maybe they just trickle 1 or 2 characters out just to keep the intrigue there, just in the middle, characters who maybe were NPCs, like maybe Jessica Jones comes in and she joins the playable roster. I'm not sure.
I could agree with you because I think, because we talked about this before, and I could be wrong because this game's exceeded my expectations, but I always thought when they showed those 3 packs of DLCs, I thought that was going to be, especially when they said the last DLC doesn't come out till the first quarter of 2019. So I thought, I think you're now with the free characters being introduced, I think you're right there.
Everything, right?
Yeah. But I think for the packs, I honestly do think they're going to stay with these 3. I don't think that, unless the game is selling just like a gargantuan amount,
Gargantuan.
Yeah. I will ask you though this, the other point I was going to say before I ask you this question is I like that they did add Colossus because I'm looking, I don't think there's too many tanks in this game.
No, there's really not. There's like Hulk, Venom, and Luke Cage.
And Luke Cage even looks a little smaller, and that's fine because I'm not a tank playing guy. But if you look at Ultimate 1 and Ultimate 2, they have a lot of tank characters, or more like you got Juggy in there and whatnot. So I like there's another big guy.
I think it's important because from what we've seen, it seems like this game can be pretty challenging at times. Like you're really thrown into some difficult, like Infinity Trials in particular, but also I haven't really seen any hard mode, and people are like in the trios video, they're getting destroyed on normal, and they were like over leveled.
Oh, I can't wait! So, I want a challenge.
I mean, whether or not that was the final build of the game, I don't know, but like we still have a whole hard mode new game plus to see, and I feel like it's going to be hard. So I feel like there is going to be a big aspect of like team building.
Yeah.
And with the ISOs as well, the ability to really customize your characters and maybe make a character more tanky, even if they're already inherently kind of tanky, like a Hulk or something, I think is really important. So to me, adding more to that archetype is important because, like, I'm guessing Hulk is going to be pretty tanky.
Yeah.
Venom, I really don't know.
He could go either way because I feel like in both games he's meant to be a tank, but he doesn't play like that. He plays, and that's why Kirkland's talking about too. We've never been a fan of him in the games because he's like a weird mixture of a tank and Spider-Man, and like that, like that's the character. But I mean, like he should be more tanky and powerhouse and just have the webs.
It's
and
true.
Obviously,
Luke Cage, I imagine he'll have some sort of like bulletproof effect or something that makes him more tanky. A Drax could be. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's true. And then I'm hoping, like, fingers crossed, Thanos is in there because, like, my prediction, if he was in the game, he would be. I don't think he'd have the gauntlet. I think he would be kind of like the way you think in Infinity War when he just beats up Hulk. So
even if he does have the gauntlet, I think he would still be up in your face. Like, he definitely would have big punches for his basic attacks. I think he would be up in the opponent's face.
So even if we give them the benefit of doubt, say Venom and Luke Cage are tankers, you got those two, and even Drax.
Yeah, what do you think of Drax? Like, is he a more tanky character?
I think
the ISOs open up a lot of room in general. Like, I think you can make like a Wolverine with his healing factor, throw on some health ISOs on him. I think you could make him quite a bit more tanky.
That's where I honestly, because I think we said, even though I think the stream we might not have all four of us at the beginning so we can play around, but I was like, I'll play as Drax because I'm the brawler guy. I really do think he's going to fall more in line with Wolverine, the hack and slash brawler type. I think he'll have a bit more bigger moves, but just some, and I do worry with Drax. I think he could end up being like the Venom in the first two games where they don't know if they should make him a big guy or a brawler, and it's like sometimes some characters are great when they're all leveled equally, but that was a problem with Venom.
To me, he looks unfortunately like the most kind of bland of the characters because he looks like Wolverine, but Wolverine has the healing. Has like I know he has like a damage buff, which is kind of cool. I don't know what Drax has.
And at the same time, we never.
I mean, that's the thing. We're gonna be trying every character.
Yeah, and we never know. Dylan Must, when he played Ultimate Alliance 2 the first time, would have never told you, Songbird's gonna be one of my favorites, right? So we could get in there, and Drax could just play really smooth, like, oh man, like that's great. So and
sometimes it's your favorites that just become your favorite because you just like to look at yourself playing them. But sometimes it's just like I really like Songbird's moveset. She's my favorite.
Yeah,
it can be as simple as that.
I was happy Colossus being another tank, and Cyclops, he could suck, but I have some faith. I'm hoping he's good. I was gonna ask before we move on the other characters, why do you think, and because you don't think it's that short, but I still think I'm surprised this is coming out August 30th with 2 free. Why do you think they didn't make it in the base game? Because to me, it's just strange that they're announcing it before the game came out. If it came out after the announcement, like, they were still working on it, like they're close. Like you said, it's a month, so not that close, but still, it surprised me that this announcement came. I'm hyped, but I was surprised that they're not in the main game, especially those levels. It threw me for a loop, but that's all I'll say.
I mean, there's a couple ways to look at it. I don't know, like Team Ninja is their first time making Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what their process was of picking characters. I don't know how much involvement Nintendo had. I don't know how much involvement Marvel had.
They had a good process.
I know for like Smash, their drawing board, they sit down, they pick what is our roster going to be, and then they do it. And sometimes there's a case where like, okay, we weren't quite done this character, we're going to release them later as DLC. I don't know if Team Ninja sat down and said, here is our 30 whatever odd characters roster, let's make that. I don't know if like Cyclops and Colossus were included in that, or if maybe they saw people really like them at E3 and they're like, let's start working on this and add them as like a bonus later. Or maybe they were just lower on priority and they thought, okay, we already have like 4 or 5 X-Men characters. We don't need these guys. If we can finish them in time, great. If not, whatever, we'll release them in August. It'll give the game a little bump. It'll be something we can throw in a Nintendo Direct to get some hype up. Hey, 2 free characters, sweet. Because we know there's going to be a Nintendo Direct sometime in the summer, so that's a good thing to just throw in there. So show some gameplay of them fighting.
Remind about the other DLC as well.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what the reason is, but I feel like this is something that they maybe knew in advance. Like, I don't know when they decided they're going to do DLC, but it's pretty clear that they weren't planning Cyclops and Colossus to be part of that DLC, or else they would wait.
Because put them in X-Men.
Yeah, because I don't think there's like backlash of. I don't think there was huge backlash to the characters aren't in the game. I think Cyclops maybe more so because people really love that character generally.
Yeah, I think there's backlash, but I think people are still like, I get it because of the popularity. The only thing I was going to add on the roster is I did read an interview once that they didn't pitch anybody and they wanted to make deep cuts. They were talking about like Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah.
They didn't pitch anyone, to my knowledge, that they said got turned down, or maybe they did and they just didn't want to say that. The only thing they got stricken down from Marvel is they didn't say which ones, but they gave them a list of these characters need to be in the game. So I imagine that's your Avengers, your Guardians, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's your big like movie characters.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I've heard. And like I said, it's them talking interviews, so they might be a lot like, skirting some of the truth. But that sounds reasonable of Marvel saying, hey, you can put whatever you want to, but you need to hit these characters and maybe these levels.
I guess where I question that is I feel like if Marvel really was pushing that, I feel like Ant-Man would be one of those characters, right? Like Ant-Man has 2 movies. He likely has a 3rd movie coming out at some point. He's a really big popular character. He's been around the block. So I
at
feel
the
like
same time,
I
though,
feel like that's a character that they would want on that list.
at the same time, though, as far as money wise, he's the lowest as far as the solo people goes, right? So maybe they
in
were
terms
looking
of the box office.
in terms of box office.
Yeah,
So
that's a
maybe
good
they were
point.
looking at strictly marketing wise, and that's why people like X-Men are
you need
still
Black
in there.
Panther, right?
Yeah, and that's why even X-Men are in there. Where Dark Phoenix aside, before big commodity, right? And now they have the rights back. But when this game was in development, they didn't have those X-Men rights, and because it was a big thing, like. Super quick off topic with Marvel vs. Capcom, the newest one, that was a huge controversy that X-Men was in all these games and they were in that one, and fans of that series were really disappointed. So I was always surprised we got them there. And maybe it's because they had a better idea that like, we're working on getting them back. Feige's working on those fun bucks. So that's exciting. I'm very excited because I like those looks. I like the characters.
I love the looks as well. I'm really excited for Cyclops this time around just because it seems like they're really sticking to it, right? Like if that's like a ranged-focused character, then they're going to make his basics, his heavy attack like that. And that gets me really excited because it just seems like it just fits the character that much more. And I love the Colossus pick because I did want one or two more tanks in the game, and he just fits perfectly. So
get Deadpool and Colossus
whether or
on
not
the
I'm going to
team.
use them, it's like if I'm still playing solo, I'm probably going to want a tank on my team. So now just giving me an extra one is great. And I love the X-Men. So just like now we have more maneuverability. Like think about like the X-Men characters we have. They have like the classic like Wolverine and Storm, but I feel like other than that, it's kind of. I don't think Nightcrawler is that weird of a pick, but even like the base roster, like your X-Men team to get the X-Men team bonus, it's kind of weird, right? It's not like all classic X-Men. At least, like I feel like Psylocke's a little bit further away from that. Nightcrawler is a little bit weirder. You would expect like your Jean Greys or your Iceman or these two, right?
Have they said to Scarlet Witch count as an X-Men, like on a team, or is she an Avenger? She might double, right? She probably should double.
I think she's part of the Avengers, like story wise, but maybe she's in the team bonus for X-Men as well. I would hope so because I would love to do an X-Men team for a couple hours on the stream.
Oh
so.
yeah.
What
I was going to say, because we're going to talk about Marvel Knights, but because we're talking about X-Men, I want to talk about their DLC pack first quickly. So obviously now, with Marvel Knights, they revealed the 4 characters. We're going to talk about them,
That's the first DLC that's coming in September.
Yeah, in September. So my thing is, and that was our prediction, was that
I think X-Men comes out this year. I just wanted to butt in. I think that is the next one coming out sometime in this year.
It would make sense because we've seen nothing from Fantastic Four, so that's why to me they might be still building those characters up. But to me, we kind of guessed we were like, it's either 4 or 5. That was our predictions because we thought it might go Fantastic Four and Doom. So my idea was always it was either Fantastic Four and then it's 4 or Doom and 5. So I'm going to, just for this conversation, let's just operate in the base that each of these DLC packs for now are just going to be 4.
Sure.
Because we got 4 announced for Knights.
Assumption, I'd say.
So now that because I was on that bandwagon, like I said earlier, that I thought Cyclops and Colossus were a for sure 2 there. So them being free opens the window big time.
It does.
I want to start with Beast. What is your feeling on Beast? Potentially being in there because
Beast is a tricky one.
He's in the portrait. He's animated. He's in the game.
Yeah, I don't know if he's only in cutscenes in the game. From what I've seen, I'm pretty sure I've only seen him in cutscenes. I don't know if he's ever chilling around on the maps. I don't know if he has like a character model in game where he's walking around. I don't know if he has any like slashing attacks. I think if Beast would be a character that's added, I don't think you pay for him. I think he's another one, a free character that trickles in. And
don't you think they would have trickled him in though with these 2 as well?
That's why, I do, and that's why I think he just won't be added at all. And I think he'll be like the NPC for the whatever X-Men level is that gets added when that DLC comes out. I think he'll be like he is in the X-Mansion level. Looks like he's the one that gets you in the X-wing. He's the one who kind of tells you to meet him out back and
he's
all
your
that.
Guide.
Yeah, so I think he is that NPC. I'd be down for another blue character, another blue X-Men. But I don't predict he'll be in the X-Men pack if we're saying 4 characters.
Yeah, just 4. Yeah.
Would I want him? Yes, but I don't think if I only got to pick 4 that I want, I wouldn't put him. I wouldn't quite put him in mine either.
Yeah.
Who's
your top pick? You get 1 X-Men. They come to you.
My single one top pick. I think it would definitely be Jean Grey.
Jean Grey.
One, she's like really important character. She's really cool. She's really unique. She's really powerful. But also, she was really fun in Ultimate Alliance 2.
So much fun.
I really, really like that moveset. And if they give her that same costume that she had in X-Men 2 or in Ultimate Alliance 2, I loved her. Her moveset in that game is really fun. It was really unique. So she would definitely be my number 1 pick. What would yours be?
So it's tough. So obviously I go with the Gambit because I love Gambit is one of my mains in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. I love spamming those cards. I love the design, and I'm a big fan of that character. But I think he is a good balance. He's kind of like the Thor characters I like. I like strikers that have projectiles that are not projectly like the base of them. I think, well, I guess as far as, so now that I've talked about villains and ones that I've really wanted, now that I got Loki, and if I hopefully get Thanos, I got to go for Marvel Alliance 4 or this DLC, who I want. If I got a villain, I don't know if you know who he is, but Omega Red for comic book fans, he is a part of the Weapon X squad. He is just this guy. He's a Russian soldier. He's a mutant. He has metal skin.
Is he related to Sabretooth in any way?
They were on a team. They were on Weapon X team. So it was him, Deadpool, Wolverine.
Damn, that'd be a cool team.
Yeah. And he has like metal arms like Doc Ock. It's kind of like that Doc Ock pick. So that's like a dream pick. For my likely one, I want to throw this on you because he's in the game. He's been in a game. What's the possibility of Juggernaut being in there? Because I was maybe wrong, but I did predict a few casts ago. I thought at one point I was in the camp that both Juggernaut and Mystique were going to be playable. Mystique, I'm so, but it could still happen. But Juggernaut, I think, is a very strong candidate of happening, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the pool of X-Men characters in previous Ultimate Alliance games that aren't in this one, that would be Sabretooth, that would be Jean Grey, that'd be Iceman, that'd be Juggernaut, and I mean Cyclops and Colossus, but they're already in.
Yeah,
I think it's and Gambit. So I guess those five. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anyone, but I think it's
a big
just,
roster.
I think it's just those five.
You're right.
And Juggernaut's super cool in the other game in Ultimate Alliance 2.
Another tank character.
Yeah, he's another tank. Because
we're not getting a tank in Marvel Knights.
He's a unique tank because he's more about the momentum. He's more about the movement based.
And if we don't count any free characters, we only know that the thing will be. So let's say if no free characters are a tank, and then these packs, Knights doesn't have a tank, and then we'd only have one more tank on the way with the thing.
Yeah. I do think already with Colossus and the thing, I think that's enough. I think that's like 5 or 6. Especially with ISOs, the ability to make like your Wolverine a tank, maybe even like Deadpool because he has healing. Maybe you could make him a tank. I don't know, but
he's always a tank.
It seems
in
like
these
he
games.
got busted. Yeah, he's fucking busted in the first game. Juggernaut would be a really cool pick, and I would be totally fine with it. I think he is super unique. He is really fun in the second game as well. Like the way they make his like. People talk about Quicksilver as a character and like wanting him, and I'm always always iffy because I feel like the closer you get to him being really authentic Quicksilver, the more broken he is and the less he like fits into the game. But the less like the more you make him just kind of fit in with the rest of the characters, the more you're taking away what makes him Quicksilver. Whereas I think Juggernaut's that perfect fit where yes, he's a character about running around and blowing through stuff, but that fits so well into this game already because these battlefields, like the level design, it's much bigger than the previous games. You're not not as restricted. A lot of the times the camera's like really zoomed out. So I would be down with it. And one thing as well, I think Venom, at least like his boss fight, I'm pretty sure he's scaled down like as a playable character from his boss fight. I think that might be the case for Magneto and honestly maybe even Loki, like even just 10-20%.
Yeah, because Loki looks, that's been my complaint. He's bigger than Thor in the boss fight. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so it makes sense to make a boss a little bit more chunky and just scale them up or down and they wouldn't look too weird. So Juggernaut is massive in game in the boss fight and in that chase scene, but you could scale him down, you could make him work, and you still want him to be a big character. Like Hulk is pretty chunky as well, and the Thing will be equally as big, I would imagine. So, yeah, I think if I don't know, would he be in that 4 if you only get 4? To me,
I think there's a good chance. Yeah. It's tough though, right? Because for me, and this is where we can start talking about.
He kind of fits in that realm where it's like he's already in the game.
Yeah.
Already, so maybe I feel like from my logic, from my point of view, it's like the same argument I had for Beast would have to be the same one for Juggernaut, where I feel like if he does get added, it would just be a trickled in like free edition and not part of the pack, because I think the packs will be all new characters.
Well, because here's the thing. So with Marvel Knights, what we got today is so far what we've seen is we had some ideas as far as other characters in the games, and we're hoping, but... So what we did get with Marvel Knights, because I'm bringing them now because it fits this X-Men conversation, we got Blade, you got Frank Castle the Punisher, we got Moon Knight, and you got Morbius, the living vampire.
Wild
crazy. So we're going to talk about them, don't worry. But my thing is, so obviously the DLCs come with story packs, so that's why I haven't really seen their worlds, Marvel Knights. But even then, those 4 characters, especially in all capitals, Morbius, very left field. So that's why I'm not sure with X-Men, is the Colossus Cyclops picks these guys are in the game, but is the 4 we get, are they going to be, like, to me, a Jubilee? Someone we haven't seen. Someone like, I would love a fucking Omega Red. So, like, are we Mr. Sinister?
To be fair, I would say that Marvel Knights is the most, well, it's not even an opinion, really. It is the most obscure of these 3.
It is.
So that's where I think you are a little more open to throw Morbius in there. And
but also,
Morbius has a movie coming out as well, which I
true.
think adds to his case.
But my other case, again, for the being unknown characters or ones that we wouldn't even guess, those 4, you got a good point. But then also Fantastic Four, nowhere in this game. So that's why I'm wondering with X-Men, are we going to get some really wild picks that have nothing to do with the game and just like, you know what, we want to make it worth it? Because
the thing is,
maybe Cyclops Colossus would be worth
there's
it.
so many X-Men. And like I said, there's already 5 from previous games. Let's take out Juggernaut for the sake of this like, example piece.
He's like Beast. He's gone.
But yeah, like that's still 4 characters that you could play with who are from previous Ultimate Alliance games who have proven to like have worked. They fit into this kind of game, and they're nowhere to be found yet, right? So they could still be added. I think to me, Jean Grey is like a lock. She is 100%. I don't think there's any way. She's way too popular. She's super unique. She's been in a game before. People love her way too much. I think that's like to me the only definite lock for the X-Men.
I think
like I'm like over 90% certain that she'll be in there. Yeah.
I honestly could go over 90% on her and Gambit, to be honest, because Gambit is really popular in the comic book community. So I just think those two fit.
I think it's maybe another reason too is like you look at Fantastic Four. Let's say it is just those 4.
Yeah.
You only get 1 female. If you look at Marvel Knights, none. So I think it helps. Like X-Men, that's where you have a chance to throw in a couple more female characters as well. So I think Jean Grey just has like so many things backing her up to be in there.
That's why I'm going with the pick
and
of
she's just like really well known. She's a household name.
That's
she
why
had a movie. It wasn't a great movie, but
that's why I'm also going with the pick of Jubilee. She's like a lower tier, but you know,
I love her look.
Yeah, she has a cool look. Shoots like fireworks and sparkles ever. But another female. But that's what I've been trying to think. So. Because I'm trying to think, I think Jean Grey, you're right. In my opinion, I think Gambit is in there. I'm just trying to think of, because to me, if Deadpool wasn't in the base game, this is where he would have popped up. I'm trying to think of just that one, like, to me, we all want, for our fan, or like our geek first, we all really want Moon Knight. We're big Moon Knight fans here. We were playing the crap out of him the other night. And even then, we're super pumped for Blade, Punisher making his debut. But to me, Morbius being in there was the huge shock. Like that was I think Punisher, we've guessed, right? We never mentioned Morbius. So I'm trying to rack my head about an X-Men character. That's why I throw out someone like an Omega Red that is like has like a hardcore fan base.
To Mandos in the Discord server for Ultimate Alliance, who throws out so many wild picks, but one of them was in fact Morbius that he showed it out at one point. Okay, so here's my other X-Men. I think
you go because I'm just.
We need to finally come up with our 4. We've been talking this.
Okay, so we're gonna do a whole 4. Okay,
I think we should pick a 4. I just want to talk about one more character, and that character is Iceman.
Yeah,
I think
just gonna bring him up.
Has a really high chance for a few reasons. One, he's entirely unique. There's no other character quite like him. Yes, Loki has like an ice move. Maybe Storm has some sort of like ice ability or something, but he is very unique. Not even just like the fact that he has ice powers, but even just his look, even the fact that he could cruise around on like a little ice surfboard. Yeah. 2, and this is like just from like a roster, like nerdy note point of view, but he was a base roster character in the first 2 games. The only other characters who were base roster in the first 2 games that aren't in this one is the Fantastic Four, which we know are coming. So I want him from that reason. It's like when Ice Climbers finally got cut in Smash 4 after being in Melee and in Brawl, like even though I don't play those characters a whole lot, it's just it hurts to see them go.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing for me with Iceman, where it's like I feel like he just deserves to be on the roster because he's a cool character, he's a well-known X-Men, he's got the cool moves, and he's been around, like he's been in the other 2 ones as a base roster character. So I think he deserves it. And he would probably be behind Jean Grey. He's my number 2. Not even because I like him that much as an X-Men, but just because of the roster nerding out. I just really want him there because it would really fulfill that. It would really fulfill that like hankering in my soul. That's like I want that character to be in here just to feel like I'm fulfilled.
Mm-hmm. So I went to dorkly.com. Never heard of this website, but I just looked at like
Shout out to dorkly.com.
I looked at like the most popular X-Men just to get us some ideas here. So I want to talk about this because he was in there. Any chance of Professor X? I don't think so, but man, I would love to see it.
Was he a character in the X-Men Legends game? A playable character?
Let me do
you
a
should
quick
do a quick
search.
Google on that because I don't know what you would do for a moveset. I know you could come up with a moveset for absolutely anyone.
Well, because if you're saying there's people like Storm that are all just projectiles, he could do that with his mind and things like that.
Yeah, I think they could definitely come up with a moveset for him. I guess I'm not creative enough to come up with one on the spot, whereas you asked me to do that for a number of other characters, and I think we could come up with something halfway decent. Whereas Professor X, like I don't know how you come up with 4 moves and giving him like I don't even know what you do for light and heavy attacks for him, right? Like,
yeah,
I think he's fine to have as an NPC, have as a character that is part of a story thing. I don't know if I want him. I think there's more like glamorous characters to do, and it's not that I don't love my man Professor X, but I think he's just better suited being an NPC. Maybe like Beast, like, you know, maybe Beast doesn't need to be a playable character for him to be like to fit his role in this game.
So far for X-Men Legends 1, he was playable in one specific mission. He was playable.
Really?
So
That's fucked.
And
so
then,
in those games, do you not have like a set roster that you go through the whole game with, or is it level to level? Like
I think just that one. So then here's some other ones I have that were.
I want to watch some gameplay of that.
Yeah, the Taylor Bots. We're gonna do it for the next stream. So here I'm gonna list off some characters that were in the first 2 X-Men games that couldn't be there, and I also got this from Dorkly.com. Emma Frost. I think
she's a fan favorite in the Discord server as well. Shows to Spooky. That's one of his favorites.
That's definitely because a lot of just teenage boys grew up with Emma Frost, and she's always wearing some very skimpy attire, but she would have telekinesis. She'd have diamond attacks.
Oh, she's cool as fuck.
Yeah. So I think that's another one. Here's one I didn't even think about, but we're talking about X-Men being popular from the movies. Rogue.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. She's a brawl character. She could fly.
I think she's pretty highly possible.
Yeah. Let's see.
Really cool abilities too, because she essentially copies abilities, right?
She can. I don't know if they would do that in the game. No? She can take. I think
she'd be like a Kirby-like, you know.
I think that's way too much to put in there.
Maybe.
Yeah, and then everyone else we've kind of already talked about, and then some people I wrote down. Professor X, Rogue. The only other one that we haven't talked about, it makes sense because Deadpool's in there as Cable.
Oh,
Marvel Alliance 2.
Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a strong contender. So if I had to pick my 4, are we doing who we want or who we're predicting for the 4? Because that's very different. Because if we're doing want, Gambit and Omega Red are high. Omega Red's one of my favorite villains. And now that I've gone Loki, I'm just feeling greedy.
Fuck it, do both. Give me your want first. I'll do my
So want is definitely Jean Grey, Gambit, Omega Red. Ooh, and then anybody. For shits and giggles, either Mr. Sinister or Apocalypse, just another villain in there.
Yeah.
And then who do they want?
Not Sabretooth?
Ooh, that's tough. I would take those two. It's maybe more than Mr. Sinister. Just get someone new in there.
Yeah.
And then the prediction, still having Jean, Gambit. I think you're pretty right on that Iceman call. And then the 4th. And then I feel like I'm just trying to think of who's the better, more likely between Rogue, Jubilee, and Emma Frost.
Probably Rogue, I would think.
It's tough because I think Rogue's more popular, but I think Emma Frost would be a cooler character to play as. But then again, I think all those characters are big, but I still think you need a Morbius pick. We need somebody.
We talked briefly about Quicksilver. Do you think he would be
no,
playable just because he's
game breaking?
I did see someone modded him in the first game, and it's not pretty.
No.
He breaks the game.
Yeah. So I will go with Rogue, but if I had to choose, I like Rogue better as a character, but for power sets, I'd want Emma Frost. So my 4...
How about, I guess one more character we didn't talk about, Mystique. What do you think about her?
I think there's a chance, but I don't want her. I think she would be she'd be like Black Widow.
She's more of a trickster than a fighter.
And we already got a God Mistress. So what do you got for your 4s?
Okay, so my wants would be Jean Grey. It'd be Iceman. It would be Gambit as well.
Get those cards.
And then this one we haven't talked about yet. I would throw Kitty Pryde in there, actually.
Damn it! I saw her on Dork. I didn't put her in there. She's another high chance too. I'm taking.
I mean, I love that character, even though I've really only experienced her from the movies and seen just looked her up and seen what her full power set is. But with the little dragon that she doesn't have in the movies, but that could be really fun to have a companion kind of move. And then obviously I don't know what you would do really with her ability to go through stuff, but what is that kind of just her powers?
Yeah, kind of pretty much.
The dragon's pretty cool.
Yeah. You could have special attacks with that. You could do going through certain people and whatnot. She'd definitely be a brawler, so I think she's popular, but...
So yeah, that would be mine. It would definitely be Jean Grey because she's fun in the other game. She's cool. She fits. Iceman just for the roster fulfillment. Gambit because he's awesome in the second game. Is a really cool, unique character. And then Kitty Pryde just for that kind of WTF pick, a little bit more
her
out
finisher,
there.
Lockhead could come and fuck up some people.
I'd love that character. I think honorable mention to Juggernaut because I would love to play as him. If he's in the game, he'll be one of my favorites. But I just feel like for a DLC pack, I'd rather see him as a random trickled edition because I kind of want. I know my wants and what I think they're going to do is a different list. But I think my wants and my prediction is actually very close. It's going to include Jean Grey, Iceman, and Gambit. And then the 4th, I think I would go with a Rogue or Emma Frost. I'll go for right now on July 18th. I'm going to go with Rogue.
Okay, yeah, same thing. Even though now I'm switching to Emma Frost, but again, I'll go on record that I think one of those 4 is gonna be someone like I don't think it will be Omega Red or Mr. Sinister, but somebody like a Morbius where it's like, oh, really? They're putting in that? I think it will be a first time or someone unique, you know, because even with Marvel,
I don't think it's necessarily restricted to just 4 characters either. I think they could do 5 or 6 for X-Men. I think for Marvel Knights, like as much as we're thinking, okay, Fantastic Four could be 4, obviously, it might not be more than that.
Could get
Marvel Knights, like there's really not tons more picks. Like I think Cloak and Dagger is one I saw a lot of people talking about.
Yeah, Werewolf by Midnight is someone still kicking
so there's
around.
a couple other ones, but it doesn't feel like those were
Not
like promises
roster,
or something.
no.
It doesn't feel like, oh man, I can't believe they didn't add them.
We're getting the lineup we wanted of those ones.
I think there was 3 that like you expected, and
Yeah.
3 of them are there. So.
Well, and that's the thing. Even then, like the way you want to play it, if Fantastic Four has Doom, the Marvel Knights has Morbius, who has been a villain. So that's why I do think there's a chance we get a villain in the X-Men pack as well. I don't know who, but maybe that's where Juggernaut could be.
I could see it for sure, and I think even Fantastic Four, like beyond the 4, you really could get Doom. You really could get Surfer. They've both been playable before. They're both super unique.
If they put
They're
in
both
Doom
really
and Surfer,
popular characters,
that would be a way to sell a DLC
and then if
pack
Marvel
right
is
there.
like having their fingers in it, like, you know, who knows? Maybe we'll find out this Saturday. Fantastic Four is potentially on the horizon.
Yeah.
Those 2 characters are going to be coming back in a big way. So maybe you want them in this game just to get that hype up there.
Especially if because you are in my boat that's probably the last DLC pack, right? Fantastic Four?
I think that's in the I think that was in the panel today.
Okay.
I think they showed the order of them.
Because if it is, then that makes so much sense that we may not know it's just not just the Fantastic Four. It could be more. So
I'm gonna look and see if I can find that photo. I thought I saw one that showed like the order, the release order. Let me see if I can find that while you talk about the Marvel Knights.
Yeah, so we got Marvel Knights. We obviously was we were no what am I trying to say? I'm gonna try again. We got the Marvel Knights DLC. We were let in on the secret a few months ago that we got DLC coming, the 3 packs, Marvel Knights. We talked about a bit who it could be, and like Dylan said, we kind of had some guesses, had some wants. Moon Knight, Blade, Punisher.
So good.
And Morbius the Living Vampire. Blade and Punisher don't surprise me at all just because Frank Castle's very popular.
He is,
and he hasn't been in a game yet. Blade, not as popular, but he's been in the game. I think he's a different character. And then, what was I going to say? Moon Knight, I wasn't so sure on. We kept talking about he has to be in there. But I just think that was, for me, when we were talking about a lot of our hype. And just because
he's not a mainstream character yet.
Yeah, other than his comic a few years ago that has been just phenomenal, this the 2016 run, he just hasn't been in the limelight. He hasn't been in TV shows. He hasn't been in really animated stuff. So I, as a big Moon Knight fan, was kind of beside myself that he's not going to be in it, but he's in there. He's looking great. He's looking so jacked. I'm hoping, even though the costume was a little disappointing, he has his class. He doesn't have the suit once I'm disappointed, but Morbius, the living vampire, that is crazy. I'm very shocked.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a chance he is the villain in that pack? Because you got the vampire hunter and Blade.
Yeah,
and
the fun thing is you also have Elsa, who's a vampire hunter,
yep.
right? So
she's a monster hunter.
Oh, just
Get
a
her? Yeah, just a monster hunter.
Okay,
but vampires are
she's gonna be
monsters.
hunting down Thing, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I could see him being the villain of that pack. The thing is, that's the one I know the least about, just because it's like a bunch of weird, like really just like, you know, your Man Things, your Werewolf by Midnight, like characters that I don't really know anything about because they're not really too mainstream. But I do know who Morbius is because he's in the Spider-Man. Shoutouts to our retrospective of the 1990s animated Spider-Man show. He's in probably at least like 7 or 8
There's
episodes.
a whole season dedicated to him.
Yeah, like he's in it quite a bit, and so if you want to hear that, go check it out. But that character grew on me over time. He's a really fun character. I don't know what they're gonna do moveset wise.
Oh,
I'm excited to find out.
I don't know who I am most hyped between as far as Moon Knight and Punisher, but I'm low-key, I think the most hyped for Morbius just for a curiosity level, because he could play and I might be fine, but what are his powers? Because he can't have projectiles. Is he gonna have like?
He doesn't really use any weapons in
his
the
teeth
show.
are his weapons and his hands.
Yeah,
like
the plasma.
So that's what I'm wondering.
Plasma.
Like, I think he'll be a striker for sure. But then, like, is there moves where
I could see him being like a
attach
really
to characters and suck their life, or like what could
maybe?
He do?
Do you think he'll have like a transformation move where he turns like into a full-on vampire like he does in the show? That could be kind of fun.
I'll recite that
maybe even for like his extreme attack.
I was gonna say I'll recite
like
that
how
until
Carol turns into the Omega mode or whatever.
Yeah, I want to see more extremes to see how common that is. Because if it is, then I'll say maybe you're right. But until now, I'll say no.
As of right now, I could see him being like a really movement-based character.
He's gonna fly for sure.
He's flying around a lot, like just moving up to characters, kind of like. I think he'll definitely have a lifesteal move, right? Like some sort of move where he grapples onto someone and maybe just like
The
heals
plasma
directly
sucker.
from them. Maybe he'll have like a grab kind of move. That could be fun because grabs aren't a basic attack anymore.
Yeah.
So it could be. It would be sweet if there was a couple characters that have moves like that.
I bet one move well, I don't know if they could do it, but if he had like if he did have like a plasma life force sucking, one I could see is like a kind of like the old day when you're talking about the grapples and you had your special grapple. Mm-hmm. If his move was like, if you got to somebody, you grab them, you fly up, slam them down. But when you slam them down, it gives like a little burst impact to other people. So I could see it just being very like agile and airy attacks, like just like almost like breathy, but in a way because I just feel like he's gonna be flying. Like look at under his arm, he has like little capes. I'm excited
to just kind of experience a different version of this character because I've only seen him in the Spider-Man show, and he has a movie coming out sometime next year or this year. Who the fuck knows?
It's next year, yeah.
Next year. So I definitely want to get a little more experienced on that character. So this is a perfect way to do it.
It's crazy. I was not expecting that.
I would not have predicted that at all.
No, not at all.
It's a really cool pick.
He's never come out once for us. So, and then Frank Castle. I'm so excited for.
That's my most excited. Like I'm excited for all four of them really, but of
They're
course
all great
the three
picks.
that are coming back, or not, I guess only two that are coming back, and then Punisher being the new one is awesome for me because, like, yes, it's some people are like, well, what kind of moveset would he have? But it's like, look at Nick Fury in the first game, how he just has like. He has like an SMG kind of move.
We fell in love with him last week. We were playing with him, and man, he was becoming one of our favorites. He's so weak, but we're gonna bring him on up. We're gonna upgrade him.
We made our like custom team, and we're like, he's our first recruit. We love Nick Fury now. And he could be throwing grenades around, shooting all sorts of guns. Like Nick Fury has like a sniper move, and then he has like an SMG move. So you can definitely do it. Yeah, like there's such a fun moveset there, and I'm just so excited for it.
Battle Band, maybe.
I love the character of Punisher. He's so much fun, and they have we didn't see like a picture of what they look like in game because I don't think that's finalized yet, but we just saw kind of like, I'm guessing what is like concept art essentially, and
it looks great.
It is a great look.
Because I think
he has like the bandana, I think, right?
Yeah, I think he has the classic too, like his belt buckles, like the teeth and whatnot. So it's fantastic. Yeah, I cannot wait to play with him, especially with this game that weekend when you're playing the story, you can upgrade certain people faster. So I really hope he's fun. I think he'll be in a similar vein of the Black Widow style as far as combat and weapons. But if they could narrow the weapons down, like Dylan's talking about, there's just this move, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, where you're just shooting an SMG at somebody and you just walk around and just spam and just spray it everywhere. And I want to be like that. I just want guns,
I can't wait to have a team of Daredevil, Punisher, Elektra. Who would be the fourth on that team?
Daredevil, Elektra, and Punisher.
Obviously, you could throw Luke Cage or an Iron Fist. Luke Cage might be good for like having a tank.
I think the obvious. Well, if you're kind of sitting in that reign of fighting kind of New York, it is Moon Knight, who it is like the obvious as far as streets in New York running around. But as far as
that's a sick team.
Yeah, maybe Iron Fist, maybe Luke Cage. Probably Luke Cage for some power in there.
Yeah, either way, it's.
Or Spidey.
Even just having Daredevil alongside Punisher is like that. I'm so fucking excited. That's it's gonna be so good.
Blade, very excited for.
Blade, when we were playing Ultimate Alliance 1 the other day, I was playing him quite a bit, and he was a little under-leveled, so I was kind of getting bopped a bit, but I really like his moveset. Obviously, in Ultimate Alliance 1, you get like 7 or 8 powers per character, and you kind of switch them out, and he had a lot of different unique kinds of abilities, so I'm definitely excited for him.
Poison grenades.
Yeah, exactly. He's just got like what might be like a normal grenade or like a normal pistol, but then it has like a weird twist on it, right? Because he always has his weird weapons, but then he also has the sword, which is going to be fun. Will he have a bike like Ghost Rider does? I fucking hope so, because that would be sick. I don't care much for the Blade movies, but I'm excited to have him in this game. Yeah. And he fits. So, like, we definitely thought he would be coming for the Marvel Knights, but it's nice to have that prediction or that knowledge that he is in there now.
Yeah, it's tough because like X-Men could have some fun cuts, but like man, Marvel Knights, that's gonna be tough to beat. Even Fantastic Four, they need Surfer or Doom there because Marvel Knights is like, those are all characters I really want to play with, and then the tack on of Morbius. It's like, I wouldn't even need any more characters. I'm just set.
And what is their fucking level going to be? What is that chapter like? Is it just like New York?
I think it's gonna be.
I
think it's gonna be New York.
Or is it like a vampire castle thing? Like, what is Blade's mother's name again?
I can't remember.
It's
but
like
she's
starts
like
with an M. It's like, oh god, what is it?
Mordrisha or something. But
oh man,
yeah.
She's
in the movies and the animated show.
In the animated show, she's fucking got a sweet look. I would be so down for a like Dracula's castle sort of level. That would be so
I think
cool.
it will be New
I
York.
Hope it's like kind of more horror themed.
I think it'll be New York. It'll be Morbius going around making people vampires,
bumping into Daredevil, bumping into Spidey,
and that's why because Moon Knight and Punisher's territory is New York. Blade's coming there to hunt a vampire, so that's why I think that makes most sense. Because I don't know why Castle would be at Dracula.
Oh, you just lined it up perfectly. It makes so much sense already. How they fit them in there. I wonder what the relation of these stories will be to the main game and like this Thanos storyline.
I don't think
which
they will be.
Such a I feel like it's just going to be, hey, whatever, just come enjoy this other story that we have written.
Well, this
here.
was going on the side, and hey,
maybe it's during, maybe it's just like after, who knows?
Yeah, I'm so hyped for this game, but I'm hyped because of Comic-Con weekend. But man, there's a part of me now. It's like there's so many characters, but it's like, oh, I want them too. I just want them all, because those are 4 perfect picks.
We have I definitely agree with that sentiment, but at the same time, we just have so many.
I'm being greedy. It's too much birthday. So we're excited again. If you're listening to this, we're gonna be playing this game probably right now while you're listening.
We didn't really talk. We didn't really talk about Moon. Well, you talked about Moon Knight.
Oh yeah.
Moon Knight.
Give me those nunchucks.
As well as we were playing Ultimate Alliance 1 the other day. Because the thing is, in Ultimate 1, like Doctor Strange is my character. He's my man. I love his moveset. Love everything about that character. Personality wise,
he's your main, for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely my main. But I always, when we go back to play those games, I always start with some other characters, just because the point when I reach Doctor Strange again, I don't go back just because I love him so much. But Moon Knight was the one I went to first, and I fucking love Moonlight. Moon Knight's moveset, between like the different types of projectiles, the crescent move the moon that just like bounces off enemies and walls, and then just like the quick nunchucks. He's such a
very powerful too,
cool character. Yeah. So I am incredibly excited to have him back. He became a favorite of mine really quickly just playing him again the other night. So
I really hope they make him cool, because I feel he could be a character that goes to the wayside and is just like a brawler type.
He's a character I'd love to see be really popular, and then maybe inspire Feige to bring him over to the MCU, bring him over to give him a
Disney
TV show.
Plus,
Something, because maybe they would have got there in the Netflix Marvel stuff, but they didn't have time.
And I'm glad they didn't now, because those shows are dead and not connected now. So
even better chance that he'll be in something meaningful one day.
Out of all those, I am very excited for him, but I don't know why. I just have a worry that he'll just be. I don't think he'll be the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 tier. He could surprise me, but that's why I don't know why. I have no reason to think that way.
I think he's a character in terms of just like the classic hack and slash kind of gameplay. He already fit really well into the first game. So, but at the same time, he had like a couple of projectiles, and there was clearly one that's like more fun to use. So I feel like even with a moveset of only 4 abilities, which I am guessing there's only 4 abilities at this point. We don't really know for sure, but I'm guessing there only is 4. I think that's totally fine for him.
Oh yeah, and I know it's an early call. I'm just going off when we talk about Drax maybe doesn't look the greatest. It's like that's my just pick of if anyone gets the downgrade, it's him. But who knows? They could just focus big time on these 4. That's not coming out to September.
From what I've read and heard from people who've been playing the game, reviewers, the game has a really good feel. Yeah, there's some problems with the camera or maybe frame rate sometimes, but the game feels really on point. So I feel like I'm excited to play every character, even the ones like Drax that I'm not excited to play. I'm still I'll play Drax. Yeah.
Oh, we're so close, man. Anything else on Ultimate Alliance?
No, that comes out sometime in September. We don't know.
Yeah, the DLC.
I'm going to guess it's going to be later in September, because we get Cyclops and Colossus the very end of the month. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing some sort of stream when Colossus Cyclops come out. We're going to do a stream when
we're doing a Marvel Knight stream for sure. Yeah.
For every DLC, we'll do some stream. We're not going to do a 24-hour stream for each one. Don't get us wrong.
But maybe a Saturday night.
Yeah, play for 5-6 hours sort of thing. Yeah. So definitely come join those. And I mean, I'm planning on doing some live streams just when the game comes out, through August and stuff. So definitely come check us out there, and definitely join the Ultimate Alliance Discord. It's incredibly fun. There's an insane amount of people in there. The speculation is constantly on point. There's a lot of really awesome people in there. The mods are great. It's just a really fun community. It's just led to why I'm so hyped for this game, is because it's so much fun to talk and speculate with the people who have been speculating and talking about this game since the minute it was announced as well. So if any of you from the Discord have checked out this, and I appreciate you, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys on the 24-hour stream. And if you want to play online with us as well, that's the place to kind of meet up, is on Discord. So
there.
Whew,
I got Discord open, so I can try to remember to do it. So another Marvel game that we're maybe not as excited for as Marvel Alliance. Marvel's Avengers was also on the panel today. I mean, I just read off the bullet points of what they showed off. They really stressed that the game was, I can't remember the quote, I should have put that down, but it was a third-person action story-driven game, and it felt like that was a vibe from lots of people that were there at the panel, that they are really hitting that hard as far as that's what the game is, and you have co-op online, but those are modes. So I think that makes sense, because me and Dylan were talking about in the chat that no one's privy to here. I don't know E3, and we'll never know, was that a case of they just screwed up and just crammed too much and weren't clear? Or were they honestly trying to pull the wool over people's eyes and be like, oh, it's a multiplayer game, it's a single-player game, like, it's just the best thing ever?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
it's
at least...
confused marketing. At the
yeah,
very least.
but at least now it seems they're going with this as a solo game, and there's going to be co-op available. Will be like Ultimate Alliance where we can have fun online with each other. That will be time to be told, but I do like at least they're trying to be a bit more clear with it. Let's see, the other things they talked about is we finally learned where the hub's going to be for the main game. That's a Hell Carrier, so that's good.
That's cool.
And then I'll learn you'll go to other places because
shows to the Marvel Lego game where that's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It works well.
Let's see. There were lots of people in the audience were talking about a graphic update, and the combat, the gameplay was looking good, better than the E3 demo.
It seemed like it was a similar like sequence that the E3 people saw, but it was just much cleaner.
Yeah, and the other thing they got added was a Thor and Iron Man co-op mission, so they got to see that. So that's good because I think so. We've had an interesting journey with this game. We were very hyped for it, just like we want another Marvel's game.
Yeah, we were big fans of the announced trailer, but then everything else that was happening that week was to me just like red flag after red flag.
Very sketchy. Yeah.
I hated the way that like all the developers of the game were talking about it. It seemed like they were holding back on some things, and then like the details they were releasing were like everything was just bad for me.
Yeah.
And then also hearing that the gameplay didn't look so great. Obviously the game's about a year away, or it was at the time of E3, so still got a lot of time to stew. But I just was getting really bad vibes when they came out and they're like, no microtransactions, and then it's like, oh, but there is like microtransactions.
It was no loot boxes.
Yeah, no loot boxes. But then it's like, okay, well, you guys just like, I don't know. It just really felt really disingenuous to me, and I've felt like that's been the case for a lot of the marketing for the game, where they're just holding things back, or they're saying things in a way that is meant to confuse you, or like so you don't catch on.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I don't know. The stuff today, it's like kind of mixed for me, but maybe like slightly more positive. Seems like the game got a couple like little upgrades since last time we saw it, but we still haven't seen gameplay. They did say, however, that
the week of August 20th, we're going to see gameplay. I don't think it'll be that exact demo because they're also going to Gamescom as well. That's one thing I will say, and this is why, and I'll fully admit my bias of like, I just want to have fun. I want this to be good, so I'm really hoping it's going to be good, but I can agree with Dylan that since E3, I was really hyped, I was ready to go, and then it's declined quite a bit. I think this was a step in the right direction. I don't think this was a big step to win all the hype back, but the good thing is they're going to Gamescom. They're showing this game off. They're not like, I would have really worried if they did E3, no Comic-Con, no Gamescom. So they're going around. They're trying to pimp it out. Maybe it's just they want that out there. But we talked about like Ultimate Alliance, how it's been a little less. And the good thing was that majority of people, or at least not majority, I can't talk to everyone in the room, but I was following about 3 people on Twitter that I trust that are either scoopers or like writers for video games, and they're all saying positive things about it. Not saying this is going to be the best game of the year, but just like, oh, the gameplay looks a lot fluer, like things are looking a lot prettier. Like in my opinion, that Black Widow side to side looked better because her hair actually was like flowing and whatnot, where before it was like a wig. And then the 2 other big notes was you actually saw Kamala Khan in the trailer.
Yeah.
Because that was a big theory in the first game.
She gets was infected with the Terrigen Mist or something?
Yeah, because in the first trailer for the game, she was just narrating it, and it was a fan narrating the trailer. Everyone was like, I bet that's Kamala Khan. And to me, they didn't say she's playable, but for them to, if they had just showed her, fine, but to show her origin story, to me, that's an almost confirmation of that. So I feel like the other people,
it seems like it at this point.
Yeah, it's her. Spidey, we've pretty much been confirmed. We got Ant-Man, and then I'd say it's
Ant-Man seems more like a non-playable character though, right?
I think he will be playable eventually, though,
so?
right? I think so.
I was getting NPC vibes from him. Or
I
just
think
like story.
I think you could start like that, but like Cyclops, Colossus, because they did say they're going to constantly be adding characters for free, right?
Yeah. Someday I could see him,
Yeah, so that's why I think as far as characters are working on, and then I know we haven't seen anything, but the way they responded to like the Hawkeye during E3, I think he's one.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, this is a big thing for me, because I've always said, and maybe this is bad, but I have a bias. I love Marvel comic books, so even if it's to me, I've said, Dylan, if the average of reviews are like a 7 out of 10, that's fine for me. But the big thing was they've confirmed that you can do lots of customization on costumes, and they showed off 3 costumes to the audience. They showed the Hulk Joe Fix-It. They showed the Iron Man Mark 42, which is a sick-ass costume, like the black and yellow and everything like that.
It's really cool. I haven't seen that one before. It's pretty nice.
And then a Cap scaled armor suit, which is great because, like Dylan pointed out, they like, oh, you can buy this statue. It's like, everyone's trashing on it. No one likes this look of Captain America. It's bad. So I like that even though they said they're not going to change maybe their actual facial design, if I can throw a scaled armor suit on Captain America, I'm good to go. Even if I got to unlock that later on. So for me, today's panel, it wasn't like a full home run, but it's like they got a hit. They got one person on base one. Just the first base. That's it. A single hit. So hopefully GameCon, they can keep this going up. And the good thing is, it's still till May. They got a long time. It's only going to look better. And I think them being more clear on the game now is good. It won't be as hype for us as like Marvel Alliance because we can't play together.
Yeah.
But if it ends up being at least like a decent, fun solo player game that we could still do co-op, I'm happy. So
yeah, there's definitely still a lot of shining stars for this game. I mean, the fact still that like, there's going to be free content that's releasing for this game, months and months, years, who knows, after release, and then you're going to have to pay for things like costumes, but to get like maybe new characters, new areas for free, like that's awesome, right? It means that you're paying the same price that you are other games, but you're going to get more out of it in the long run. And I love the idea of co-op. It seems like the co-op wasn't the focus. It seems like it's kind of strangely integrated. We'll have to find out and see because it's still a long time away. I was hoping more that the co-op would be something like I don't want to say a focus, but I wanted it to be able to play through the entire game with you and Kirkland and whoever else my friends is interested in the game. It doesn't really seem like that's going to be the case, at least like on your first playthrough, which it's fine. It's not like the worst thing ever. At least you still have the option to play with your friends. And really, I mean, at the end of the day, when you're playing these superhero games, like these team ups, you want to play with your friends, right? It adds to the environment of the game. It fits the genre. So hopefully that's like really well integrated. That's kind of my biggest thing is the co-op. That's like the biggest selling point for me. So I have to see how that goes. Character-wise, I think Kamala Khan's awesome. I don't know much about her yet, but I will soon enough with Ultimate Alliance.
Tomorrow,
she's
baby.
Playable in there. Excited to try her out. But I think she's a really cool, unique character within the Marvel universe, like the type of characters, personality-wise. And then moveset-wise, I think it's similar to Mr. Fantastic, but I think different in a couple small ways. And it's definitely like a fun, unique kind of moveset you can play with.
And she fits because the story jumps 5 years ahead, and they've also said that the superheroes are outlawed. So that would make sense why you might see a Kamala Khan take the mantle while the Avengers are, like we've seen Tony's not looking good in this world. So it makes sense that maybe that's how we introduce an Ant-Man, a Kamala Khan, Spidey, things like that. So Hawkeye.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely not sold on the game yet just because of all those red flags I've talked about. I mean, this panel wasn't huge, but I'm really excited to see that full gameplay footage coming in August 20th. That's going to be a huge thing for me because we still haven't seen true gameplay. Like I've seen someone's like phone shitty recording and it's hard to get a good vibe. Like it looked to me pretty much like what I saw in the trailer, so it wasn't really anything new. So I definitely need to see what the gameplay is like. The customization is a big selling point. That's really cool.
People said there was some really I don't know what, because people weren't that specific. They just lots of people said it looked really cool, so I'm not sure if there is like you can maybe change certain colors of suits they give you, which I would like if you got a new costume but could also change colors. That'd be tons of fun. And it seems like they're doing deep cuts with a Joe Fix-It for Hulk, so that's something different. It's not just like here's Red Hulk, like that's a weird one because that doesn't really even fit with that game, right? Hulk in the suit.
It feels more like 80s or something.
So that's why I like that. It's like that because even then we talked about with Spider-Man PS4 that you have your base game, it's very dramatic, and there's some suits we wouldn't wear because this just doesn't fit.
Fit the story.
So if they even do that, I would be a big fan of that. I'm hopefully that too much of that's not microtransactions, but that's what we'll see.
Yeah, I would hope for the base characters that they at least have like a couple like solid.
Yeah, at least one, even one.
Like we talked about Ultimate Alliance, like maybe most or if not all the skins are just kind of cheap recolors, and that kind of sucks, but you also have like nearly 40 characters in your base roster, whereas in a game like Avengers, which is probably going to have, I'm going to say less than 10, like guaranteed characters.
Overall, like for this lifespan?
Like at launch, I mean. Less than 10 at launch, I would think.
At launch?
I think their focus was like the 6, Kamala Khan, maybe Spidey. That's already at 8, I guess.
No, we're just 5 because remember there was no Hawkeye.
But he'll be playable, won't he? No?
He will, but are you saying playable or at launch? Because at launch, I would take a bet that only 5 will be playable at launch. I really think
Hawkeye?
so.
Not Miss Marvel?
No. So
the game's a year away, man. Like that's still a long time.
So, okay, let's say this. So you mean at launch that you could let's see. So you could unlock people throughout the story, right? You know what? No, I'm gonna stick.
Well,
to
you
it.
would have like different missions, right? And that's where you play as like a certain character. And then eventually, you maybe would get to choose who you're playing as.
I think the main story. I think it's gonna be the 5, and I think those people. Because I was gonna throw this analogy to you, or not an analogy comparison. I don't think it will be anywhere near the depth of this, but could they be treating online as the same way GTA and Red Dead treated online after they are done? You play through the base game, and the reason they said there will be online,
in the world.
Yeah, we're going to add to it. We're going to add events, stuff like that, and that's where I could see other characters, because I think the base game might just be those 5.
That depends on one big thing, and that big thing is the biggest thing of all. It's an open world, whereas that like GTA has always been everything you do in the main story, except for maybe the one-off mission, like the intro to the game, the prologue, is like all in the area that you do the entire game with. So it makes sense when you go on online. But this game, as we know, it already doesn't have like a fully open world. Yes, it has like a helicarrier hub, but it doesn't seem like I don't think it'll be like the Lego game where you start up there, you jump down and land anywhere you want in the city. It's going to be more separated levels. I don't know if it'll be more like Division where it's like big city streets. I don't know if it's going to be like Dishonored where it's like you have 2 or 3 streets that are all technically part of the level. You can go whatever way you want. So that's where I don't know if like events and stuff are going to add into that super well. Where
I'm interested. Yeah, I'm still curious.
That's kind of, I mean, co-op and like how the level doesn't really work are kind of my 2 biggest questions, because I think it's like if you have 5 characters, that's a lot. Like think about how Spider-Man PS4 is a game that was like, it took me a while just to do everything in that game. That was 1 character and I never got bored. Like I was always super into it. And yes, I love Spider-Man as a character, but I definitely love some of these characters as well. So I think there's like, just between playing different characters, there's probably enough replayability to make the levels interesting. You play them with different characters, but I don't know. I guess I'm trying to consider like how many characters will be in the base game. I think definitely less than 10 at launch.
I agree with you there. Yeah,
I could see if they're teasing Miss Marvel now. I think she'll definitely be in the base roster. I've been getting vibes that Ant-Man is like a story or an
why would you think that though? Because I feel like their introductions are very similar as far as you get to see her origin and she's just off the side. You don't see his origin, but he comes and helps out in a mission. Like you don't think that could be his introduction? Like now Ant-Man's unlocked and you can play as.
I honestly don't like. It's only 1 scene, so it's really hard to judge.
Yeah.
But that's just the vibe I get. Like
really?
I don't have much more of a depth to
that's
that.
Fair enough.
But it felt like he was there for like a story reason to help them out. But I would not be totally shocked if he was playable.
I guess I take the reverse just because it was E3 and they bookend the trailer and he was almost like the one more thing and it was like, oh, Ant-Man. So that's why I thought he would be playable. But the good thing I forgot to mention too is, again, they keep talking about PlayStation is going to get exclusive stuff during the beta. But the good thing is no date for it, obviously. But we get the beta first. So we'll get some at least... At least we can play it and know, because I feel like if we can play that's see it, and then we will be more sold or less sold. Yeah, and that's what I like.
As I said to you earlier off cast, like if Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch are a playable character in this game, I'm like nearly sold because, well, assuming those characters, assuming I watch the gameplay and like the look of those characters, but I just love the idea of their abilities, and I would just be so down to play as either one of them. So if either one of them were in it, like that really, like regardless of what co-op is like, that really like drives up my interest in the game by a significant amount. And that's just like on a personal level, because with the base characters in this game, like if we include Spidey, that's a huge one. But at the same time, I played Spidey PS4. Like I don't need it for that. I'd be down to play Miss Marvel. I'm sure they'd all be fun.
Hey, Ant-Man won't be an Ultimate Alliance, maybe, so you get your fix over here, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, because we talk about. I just think with the vibe they're going, I don't think we'll see Strange or Scarlet Witch. I think they're going for more.
I don't think Scarlet Witch. I feel like Strange has a chance, possibly. Yeah. I think he'd be like just conceptually a character you'd want to do. I think he fits into the story more than Scarlet Witch, who I would say is like more. I know in MCU she isn't an X-Men, but I think that's like kind of more her association generally. So I feel like she'd maybe be a little out of place.
I'm just not seeing much magic in these Avengers. It seems like it's very like Phase 1 MCU, where it's just like this is a real world science, right?
It's definitely more gritty. Yeah. A little darker and
even then, if we got Strange, I think it would be later on. But hey, I forgot about that. But that's why that beta actually excites me, because I'm not a big beta person. But
I wonder how early that comes out.
Yeah, just to try it out. That'll be a big decision making for if I get that game or not. But so maybe right step in the direction, but we'll keep our eyes on it, because that's gonna be.
We'll be talking about this game whenever there's info on it, because
we want it to be good.
It's still like at the back of my mind. Like I want to know more about it.
We want to play it. We want to review it. Like we want this.
Yeah, I want this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not there yet, but if they can boost their marketing a bit, boost their advertising skills, then I think they could definitely get me. But right now they've definitely been kind of slipping around trying to come up with a good solution.
What if and one thing I'll say is positive. I always said that so far from E3 and even now, I like all the stuff they're saying about the story, at least. So that's one thing that's good, as far as I like the setup, and we don't know the villains, so that's fun. And because lots of games we hear even Ultimate Alliance people say, the story's kind of flat. I think in a game like this it has to be big and grandiose. So I'm liking that. What if in the first show Doctor Strange trailer, first thing you see him, he turns someone into a box,
Man, that would just
Day one, right
I'd be
there.
done.
One of your
That is my move in Ultimate Alliance 1. 40% chance to turn any enemy into a boss, even the fucking Frost Giants.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's a reason they took that out of this.
There's
game.
a reason they took it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's busted.
Anything else in that game?
I feel like there's one other thing, but no.
Gamescom's in August, so we'll get to know more.
I guess
in a
I want to
month.
say I like the costumes that they did show.
Yeah.
I agree that the Hulk one is like it doesn't really fit the aesthetic so much, but the Iron Man was really cool. It reminds me of the Spidey has a similar one in the PS4 game, I want to say.
Yeah.
And then the Cap one, I'm never really a big fan of Cap's costumes, but I like that they have that in there because he feels more like a Marine, like in the E3 trailer that we saw.
Feels
but
like a SWAT
that's like
member.
more
I hate
that's right cutting to the core of Captain America. So I think that's really important, and that gives me hope that if we do get Hawkeye in the game, there'll probably be a more realistic, down to earth version like he looks in the MCU movies. But then we'll probably also get like, that
I
classic.
want the wings.
What is that costume called? Does it have a name?
This is the original. It's
original.
just the OG because that's how he started. That was him.
I'm quite disappointed that's not his look in Ultimate Alliance because I love that look.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to some movies now. This will be quick. We only got a few trailers to talk about, but more specifically, It Chapter 2 dropped their second trailer.
Yeah.
They had an event last night at Comic-Con, San Diego. Just looks great. I think it reminds me of the first one that all the marketing they put out just hits a home run. I've not seen a trailer. I've not seen anything. I've not heard anyone say anything.
They know what they are.
Yeah, they've not. I've not had any. When we're talking about Marvel Alliance, I've not had. Marvel Avengers. I got to be specific. I've not had zero red flags, and it just feels like they are going to take up that sequel and raise upon it. Just some things to shout out. They are adding some stuff that's not in the book. That whole part which I really love, the set piece where Bill's in like that mirror room, and then there's like a kid in a room, and then there's Pennywise on the other side like breaking the glass trying to get to him. Mm-hmm. One I've always questioned. I think the books and the movies do a terrible job of explaining Pennywise's powers because at some points he can just kill anybody and do anything, and then other points he can't kill these kids. It never makes sense. So you just kind of have to hand wave and go whatever. But that set piece was looking good. Like it looks like he's gonna kill a kid right in front of Bill. Yeah. That looked very similar to Georgie. The adult cast is looking great, and I think the trailer ends with him like ripping his face. I think
that's a fucking weird shot.
That's the thing is nightmares, and I think we're getting that scene. I don't know what, but I think we're gonna get some actual Bill Skarsgård in the movie as Bill Skarsgård.
Oh yeah, that's exciting for me.
Yeah, so I'm happy. So everything I've seen. And they also hinted at Henry Bowers in this because he comes back in part 2, and there's a balloon that goes by an insane asylum, and it's just a guy running after the balloon. They're trying to hold him back. So just little Easter eggs for book fans, even if you've seen the first movie. And it's just like for a big budget horror movie, it is one of my favorites. And to me, it just looks like It Chapter 2 is going to deliver. And and I'm a person that is a fan of the adult story more. I'm in the big minority. So I think for me being in the minority, I think it's a good thing them adding stuff like that mirror scene. I think they're going to add more scares for the adults to go through because really the adults don't go through much some scares to the really end. It's just about them coping with, what's Pennywise? Yeah. I think they're going to add some new we can have some fun with the adults too to kind of spice it up a little bit. I don't know what word I was going there. So
you're wrong for something.
Yeah, and I think that's good because, like I said, I know I'm in the minority. People are always like the kid stuff's great and the adult stuff I don't care. But trailer, I think they did good.
Yeah, I don't have too much more to say. What I'll say is I was sold on this movie at the end of it when it said Chapter 1.
Yeah,
when I knew that there was gonna be more of this, I was like, I'm in because this movie really did something special in terms of the horror genre. It was such a great reimagining of the original, which I don't like at all. It's colorful. It's got some really larger than life moments. It's got really good acting, especially from younger actors as well, which is really impressive. And it's just such a fun and disgusting and terrifying story. And I love the cast that they picked for this movie. I mean, there's a couple actors I don't know of the adult cast, but the ones I do know, I'm really big fans of. Bill Hader, I think, is a great pick, and also James McAvoy. I feel like he's I don't know how many. If you were to look at how many Geek First episodes his name's come up, it's probably at least 50.
He's on the uprise right now with Glass and then X-Men and this. It's so funny at one point.
He is such a good actor. He is so
and it's
good.
so funny when X-Men started the reboots, everyone was like, even including myself, Fassbender was on a roll, but it's completely switched. Fassbender, he's not a bad actor. He's still doing work, but just McAvoy's just
he's
in
had
so much
your Alien
stuff.
Covenants. He's had your Assassin's
Creed.
And
McAvoy's just killing it right now. So I think he's a great pick to be the leader. So
yeah, I'm incredibly excited for this movie. I try not to analyze movie trailers too much these days because
Yeah.
I feel like I just disappoint myself. I love to analyze game trailers. That's a totally different story. But movie trailers, yeah, I watched this. I loved it. I liked that it was different than the first trailer, which was predominantly one scene.
Yeah,
And it shows the extended scene, which is awesome. But it's fun that now this is just more like quick cuts, just a bunch of gruesome scenes. You don't know exactly what's going on. It doesn't reveal much about this. I mean, the story is like Pennywise is back, and they're going to try to take him out.
Yeah.
It's like a simple, like the hook is very simple,
Yeah.
and it's already kind of established in the first movie. So I don't know. I didn't need this trailer to go to this movie day one, but I mean, I'm there
one.
second one. I don't know. Like I'm already going to go to it. So
Yeah.
It was a good trailer. Good job. They're keeping it up, and I think maybe they're like. I don't know. I feel like the first movie was the biggest horror movie of all time, wasn't it? So like, this movie is going to be big, and I'm excited for it. When does it come out again? In October.
I think it's September 20th.
The end of September. Yeah.
Yeah. You literally got that and Joker.
Same day as Marvel Knights DLC.
Oh yeah. And you literally
Please no.
You got that and Joker back to back. So it's a clown filled. Kyle's gonna hate his life. The Halloween. Kyle and Kirkland are gonna hate it. There's gonna be Pennywise. There's gonna be Jokers all over the place.
Luigi's Mansion.
They're scared of. If there's some clowns in there. Oh man. What I was gonna say, the only two things is I love like as far as the theme as the first trailer we talked about this impending doom of Pennywise coming back, and that's the only thing that's similar to that first trailer is that it's this constant hint that I love this line where he's just like I've been waiting for 27 years.
The laugh is so good.
And he's just like I can't remember the word, but he's just like I've been craving you or something like that. So
yeah,
it's just like,
I think he did use the word crave, which is so gross, right?
Yeah, and that's where I like that. It's just like it feels like okay, it's his turn now. Like he's prepared for these kids. That's why like he's just this impending doom. He's coming, and it just looks great. And then the other thing, just quickly, I got to shout out because we always talk about movie posters being shit. It was a simple one, but I loved that poster they released for Comic-Con of just like it's pure white, these red lines going on in its eyes. It's simple, but that's why I like it. Simple and effective. I hate trailers and even posters. I love Endgame. It's our poster for the 24-hour stream, but that's different because we got to promote ourselves because we're not big people. We got to show these are the people that are gonna be on the stream. Endgame, make some fucking cool poster. Don't make a poster with like
sometimes instead of showing your face, you just got to put that Mysterio bowl on.
Oh yeah, something. Yeah, look at the Spider-Man Far From Home. So that's what I mean. It's not like James McAvoy, Bill Hader. It's just a simple all white. It catches your eye.
That's a good point. It could easily have been like 5 big actors on the front of this, like with a flashlight in their hand, like looking all fucking weird. But instead, they chose to go with something that really fits the vibe of the film. So
yeah, and I just think it fits, and I love like even the poster. Even though I'm still saying Travis told you so, you're gonna see more It. They in the trailer and the poster it says It ends. This is the end of the It saga or whatnot. But
saga.
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. They're gonna make that money.
Prediction: do you think there's gonna be a like giant spider / like actual monster that he becomes?
I do, and I think it's gonna look a lot better CGI. But I think
hopefully those practical effects. While we usually praise guys for doing practical effects, those ones were not so good in the original.
I think it will. I think they're gonna change a lot. But I don't even know if it'll die the same. But I think they'll figure that out. So
yeah, I think we'll see it too.
Yeah,
that could be. That's a classic like big climactic ending is them taking out some gigantic Shelob looking thing.
This is batter acid, you slime. And then the last trailer I just want to quickly talk about is Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. This is a sequel.
Can you say that a bit slower?
Jay and Silent Bob
Jay
Reboot.
and Silent Bob.
Yeah,
okay.
Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. I can give you a quick overall. So Kevin Smith, we were talking about in Tarantino. He is a very popular director in the 90s. He was like, along with Joe Rogan, one of the first people to make podcasting like popular. Like Smodcast is like a dynasty. But anyway, so he did kind of the same thing as Tarantino. He did a bunch of films in the 90s, and they're all kind of connected, and the thing that they have in common is these characters, Jay and Silent Bob. He plays one of them. They appeared in all these movies and whatnot, and then they wrote in the storyline, the canon. They wrote a comic book called the Chronicles of Blunt Man and Chronic. So it's like they made the superheroes that were like based off weed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're potheads.
Sounds like it.
In the first movie, they did this movie called Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back because they found out that Hollywood was making a movie of the. I actually don't even know if they wrote it, to be honest. Now I'm getting really confused. But Hollywood was making a movie. They go to stop it, whatever. So the sequel is they're going to reboot the movie, and it looks like a greatest hits. He hasn't really done a movie in this universe for a while because he's been doing a bunch of horror movies. Like he did Tusk a few years ago, which was turning Justin Long into a walrus, and
a weird one.
Very great, very weird movie. But I'm very excited. It looks pretty much all I could say is if you like his 90 movies, you're gonna like this. If you like his podcast, it doesn't look like anything new. My biggest thing is I just got to shout out is that Ben Affleck, Matt Damon is back as well, But Ben Affleck's back, and I'm just so excited because that's my favorite era of Ben Affleck. And I think it was in the like mid 2000s, they kind of had like a falling out. So for a while, it wasn't anything big, but they just had some disagreements, and Kevin Smith said some stuff, and he said, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that," because he's like a guy on his podcast, and he gets stoned a lot, so he talks a lot, and he said some stuff that he's like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't talk about personal stuff." It wasn't insults. It was just like, I think Ben Affleck felt like you shared too much of my like personal life, because Ben Affleck was like a big dater and whatnot and everything. So they had like a mini falling out. So it was like the other day they were tweeting at each other for the first time like ever. And I was like, oh my God, this could be actually happening. And he pops up in the thing. And the reason I love it is Ben Affleck, and this is not a shot against him, he was in BVS. But then if you look at before that, he directed The Town and Argo. Like he won, his movie that he directed won Best Picture. He's on the height. And I almost worry that there's sometimes actors that just get to the stage where they don't want to do the goofy comedy stuff anymore, because this is just a full like type of parody movie.
Well, even the last movie he directed, didn't it kind of flop? What was that?
It did. It was
like
Live by Night. Yeah. It was some rum crime movie. I don't even remember it, but so I just kind of thought, and I was talking to this Emily literally last night, that I've just been wanting it, because some of the stuff he does in these movies, he's very goofy and he's very underrated, like comedic actor. And there's a thing in Jay and Silent Bob where he's talking about internet trolls. This is in 2001, internet trolls, and he's explaining what fictional characters are and stuff like that. And I just think the fact that he's coming back in this universe, and he's actually played Batman, and all the movies were like Stan Lee, that's where he cameoed in Mallrats. He was like really big into making comics popular and making pop culture references. Like there's a conversation about if Superman and Lois have sex, why doesn't she die? Like, doesn't he have super sperm and stuff like that? They have a conversation about if the Thing has a rock dick. So like that's all in these movies. So he was way ahead of that before everyone else. And the fact that Ben Affleck's coming to this world where he's already like a meta character, he's a comic book guy, and he's played Batman, they're going to have so much fun. Even in the poster behind him in this trailer, there's a thing called Blunt Man Beyond, and there's a thing called Batman Beyond. So it's just like,
That's fun.
It's just, I'm an Affleck fan, and this is my favorite era of Affleck, and just the fact that he can go do all these prestige stuff, but he's coming back to be goofy. I'm just so excited. Yeah. It's all I wanted. Val Kilmer's in this movie. He's playing Blunt Man as well, so it's crazy. So this trailer is everything I want. I cannot wait. It's just like, the King's back, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait. He's just so good in these movies. So
damn, I'm gonna have to check out this universe.
I'm very hyped. Yeah, if we had, I hate that this movie's come out this year, because if we had time, it would have been a great retro.
Have a release date?
It's sometime this year. He's doing before it releases before he releases in theater. He's doing like a 20-30 city like road show, and he's gonna go
of screenings.
They're gonna go. You could buy tickets for a fan. The only one closest to Seattle, it's in December, so it's like that's kind of tough to make with the snow.
Driving,
but we risked that with Spider-Verse. But it's gonna be like you can go there, watch the movie, and he's doing a Q&A after. So, but it looks like everyone's back. Like Rosario Dawson, we're talking about Mallrats in maybe a retrospective. She's the main character, Mallrats. She's back in this. Matt Damon's back. Cool. So I think they'll all be just kind of fun. He's been known for Chris Hemsworth is in this too. That's been confirmed. Yeah,
that's quite the roster.
Yeah, I think lots of them will just be fun one scene cameos, but that was kind of his thing, like just bring in big celebrity, they film something funny, and I'm very excited.
You've sold me on this, and I'm sure all the fans listening too, who also are in my boat and don't know what you're talking about, but now do a little bit.
Like I said, you've dipped your feet in the Tarantino. He's a very different type of sense, but those were the heavy hitters in the 90s. So he's
in terms of having his own style, he's kind of like a Tarantino, right?
Yeah, and he has his dialogue, but it's not the witty dialogue like Tarantino. It's like the pulp culture, like that sort of stuff. Okay. So, and like I said, he gave Stanley his first ever cameo. So
that's really important for
he was ahead of the
legacy,
curve.
Right?
Yeah.
First in that, ends in Endgame. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, and then like I said, it was great that they put that cameo of him reading Kevin Smith's script in Captain Marvel. You know, it's just like that's the script he's reading is the movie cameos in. So it's just like it's so fun.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it's all connected.
Yeah,
this funny world we live in.
Anything else? Anything else? News or
I was mostly just fucking stoked on all the Ultimate Alliance stuff.
Gonna go home, prep the house so we can...
I gotta set up this 24-hour stream that you guys are gonna watch tomorrow.
I know. I haven't decided what I want to do. If I want to stay up late and then wake up, so I'm like wake up right before. If I just want to get to sleep right away, I don't know.
I don't know how well I'm gonna sleep. I feel like I'm just gonna be like, oh man. Because the thing is,
I know.
you guys are gonna be chilling, waiting to come over. I'm gonna be at my house with a Switch that can play Ultimate Alliance.
I know. I'm
20 feet from me. I'm just like, I gotta turn it on to test it for the stream, but I can't fucking hit start game. It's gonna be incredibly difficult. Especially, I've been in this Discord every day, just fucking predicting things up with these people, and now Now I gotta wait.
We
It's
should
gonna
have
be really hard.
We should have talked to Kirkland. We should have been like, "Hey,
9
you want to start at
p.m.
midnight? You want to start at midnight? Like, let's do it. You know, like
It'll be good to get a sleep.
Yeah.
Even if I only sleep for 5-6 hours, it'll be enough.
Yeah. So that's where we'll be. Like I said, the other panels we got. Well, not panels. There's other podcasts.
Yeah, everything else we'll cover on Saturday evening. So
yeah, that's gonna be all there. That's the biggest one. Marvel panel. Feige's dropping some stuff. 90-minute presentation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is he just going to show a movie? What's going on?
yeah.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
premiere.
here's Fantastic Four.
That would suck if we couldn't have that and just like
I
people
know.
live tweeting it like,
yeah.
oh, and then there's a 5-year jump. No.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's not like E3. We don't get them streamed, so we'll be doing it after. But yeah, it's going to be very exciting. So go down in the description down below. If you like what we did, please drop us a review on Apple Podcasts. Video and audio feeds are there.
Yep.
Like I said, if you're listening to this, head over to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We're playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Thanks for all the support this month. It's been a great month.
Oh, yeah, it's July in a good way, though, you know? So thank you very much for tuning in. It will not be boring.
Peace out.